out there?
CBS crew?
Yes.
I mean, yo, you guys can move.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, if you know the words.
Yeah.
She was only a baby, 10 brothers and sisters, wishing she had an only child for a while. Waiting for countdown to next time she eats. Got the fat uncle who likes to grab her ass. Hates school, cause her clothes are out of style.
Hates life,
cause her pops travels miles. Mom gets around
the apartment building.
Uses television for a shield. Tired of the habits shared by her sisters. Makes a vow, never be like her sibling.
Yeah, I'm Kane from Atlanta, representing UAA crew.
He's still in UA always, you know, original members. He couldn't make it here, unfortunately. He'd probably be in Maryland getting that wrecking shop. Briss, peace out, Briss, wherever you are, you know. But, you know, we represent.
Been doing graffiti for about 14 years. First off, you know, it's like, I don't know, man, it's an expression, you know. I'm an artist anyway, you know, by nature. I've always been an artist. And when I got introduced to graffiti art, you know, I just fell in love with it, you know. And I don't know, I'm into hip hop music a lot, and it just blends in real well, you know. So
for me, I got into it for the love of it. You know, I'm talking about like wild style, beat street break. It was just the whole culture the whole time. You know, everybody was doing it. It was something I wanted to do. I just went out there and did it, and I just advise anybody who want to do it, just do it. And that's probably when you know anything with life. My background is just basically me seeing it, me experiencing the culture firsthand, knowing people, seeing it, movies, the whole culture. And I just said I want to do it, and I just did it. You know, it's not no. I don't have a fancy art school story to tell you, or you know, somebody just grabbing me, teaching me from step A to B. It was just basically I wanted it done, and I just did it. But basically, UAA formed together. It was being my brother. I did, like I was saying, in Chicago. Then we had members then and there. In Chicago, it was mostly bombing, but at the time I was in New Orleans, so kind of hard to keep it together. And then some people, you know, forcing not write no more, different reasons, different circumstances. But you know, UA, I say like 95. We was repping strong from like 1990. The crew itself formed in 1993, and we was repping strong from like 1993 to 1996 in Chicago. Then we moved to Atlanta, so it kind of like members in Chicago really weren't writing anymore. And in Atlanta, what happened? I was just pretty much writing by myself, and I met my friends like Kane over here, Mutant, and some more of my other friends. We were just all the same, like-minded, thinking individuals. We all felt the same way about Graff, about music, about life. So that's when we was like, okay, well, you know, these members, they be in UAA, you know, keep it running strong.
Atlanta scene is, we got a few riders. It's kind of, we don't have a lot of spots, so it's kind of saturated. Yeah, man, it's you know, it's not really a lot of places to paint, so you know, it's kind of saturated. You know, we got a wall similar to this. It's not as large. Just say it's not even half this size. You know, and all the riders in Atlanta, they try to get up out there, but you know, it's like pieces don't last because so many riders and so little space.
It's just life, feelings. You know, everything is just feelings. You know, when we write, we try to do something else, just to express ourselves. However I'm feeling at the time, you know, everything is not just so literal. I might be listening to some rap music one day. I might be listening to R&B. I might be with a female listening to a love song. So it just fits in the whole thing with life, art, man. Just express yourself.
More girls do need to come out and like do their thing, so it's gonna happen.
To the shit I did with the other kids while I'm breaking grids with my nose limit, crumbling the cement with this enormous intent. Bent, imminent grifter, existence in general is forever a shapeshifter, a mental uplifter. I'll give the gift of grace in my astral space, the mental waste, the power of paper chase, face to face, down secure as in my briefcase. So let me brief in this case. We're gonna begin to trace the origin back to my ship's temple. Our identities become erased more than people erase your demo, and I possess what you consider a demi.
All right, Spider. My name is Sherm, or they call me Sherm, and I am from WGS crew, based out of Los Angeles.
Yeah, it's our first time over here. We drove 36 hours straight through.
No, we flew out, but heard some people who actually flew it, like drove, and I don't know, that's crazy to me. So I have been doing this for about 6 years now, but I've this, like actually doing pieces and shit, like only 2 years. I spent half my other 3 like just tagging and like developing my letters. And
So I've been doing it for about 1.5 years, 2 years almost. Basically, we're just trying to make a statement. Like, we don't do it for art or like anything like that. Like, we've all been busted, we've all gone to jail. Almost everybody in our crew went to jail for a day.
but I try to live it as much as possible. It sounds kind of cliche and all that, but this is all I have. Like, you know, it's like we all grow up and like we have to work and, you know, work for the man in the system, whatever you call it. But like, this is like an escape for me. Like, other people don't have to see it. It's like for myself. But of course, like, everybody wants a little fame and all that. But I do it for me. I like to see myself evolve. Like right now, like I'm in the stage of evolving. Hip hop is cool. I grew up listening to hip hop, but I don't think it should be limited to that, because I've met so many people who listen to punk rock and like do graffiti and like fucking just, you know, put out their own like madness. It doesn't have to be limited to hip hop.
I don't listen to that much underground hip hop. I listen to hardcore punk and stuff. But like all you guys, it just basically goes together, because a lot of the underground hip hop, it's not just music and shit like that. It's like spoken word, and they're like basically you're being free, speaking your mind, like, and a lot of it's all about like being against the government and shit too. So that's the way it ties together.
This is a male-dominated world, period. So this is a male-dominated like thing too. So it's like, I don't know, I just accept it. But I give props to like girls when I see them like get up and like do like dope pieces. I'm just like, yeah, I get all excited. I was like looking for some like female writers around here, and I was like, so I can go up to them, give them props. And then I saw a couple I met, like AR2 down the way, and some other female spider over there. She was rocking shit. So I was like, yeah, I was all excited.
Cooked it up. I think CBS came out here last year and painted, and then really out here, we got out here through Shapeshifters. Did the show last night. Shapeshifters is a crew from LA. Started, first demo came out in '93, featured Mech, Realm, Sir, DJ Rob 1.
Who's got presence on the microphone? Shapeshifters got presence on the microphone.
Who's their eyes pure? There will be.
I was in CBS around that time. I started a group with Mech, and another MC called Shu McGorth from a crew called Darkleaf. Started doing a lot of shows, just underground shows. We then later changed the name back to Shapeshifters and restarted the crew. And since then, it's gone through a lot of different members, and to what it is today. We all do graffiti. Well, I can't say we all do graffiti, but most of us, or some of us, do in the group.
Just trying to push the boundaries of whatever we're doing, whether it's like music or art or whatever, what we're trying to say. That's really how I could break it down, man. Shapeshifters, we kind of try to push the envelope. The way I got the name AWOL is like, just by painting it, and then it just kind of sticks with you, you know? You know when you're a kid, you change your name, keep changing your name, change your name. Finally, you just get one that kind of sticks, and people just kind of keep coming at you with that.
Mad Dog and Glory, Midori stories will bore me from the old glory whores who pretend to adore me. Don't you know what life can consist of when you bring just a little of existence to the table?
I'm from Florida. I just painted characters for a long time. Probably like off and on since about 93. Like just the last like 4 years is all I've been doing is just painting. Graffiti came from hip hop. Graffiti is part of hip hop. It's not one or the other. It's like graffiti, hip hop is the whole, and hip hop and graffiti is just part of it. I mean, there's four elements. It's just one of the 4 parts. I b-boy. I got friends that are MCs and DJs, but like I leave that skill to them. Like I can't rhyme and I can't DJ, but I like the b-boy.
Rest in peace, Skate. Rest in peace, DJ Rock One.
As the years
CBS crew, Los Angeles.
Even as my tax stop
We drink Mexican beer.
Everything disappears through time. Although my voice on tape will never be replaced. Everything disappears through
Still hear me rhyme.
Everything disappears through time. I've been through faces.
My whole crew, 3A, is like a family. You know what I mean? It's not really like, you know, I'm coming to be tough and show off much. Not really like that. It's me and my friends.
It was just something that was always inside of me. I remember as a kid riding on the trains with my mom into Boston and seeing stuff on the tracks and just being like, wow, that's incredible. Wondering how it got there and, you know, what was the meaning behind it. And this was just as a kid, and it's just something that as I got older I found out more about it and got into it. Right now it's been most of my life, you know, life's dedication. The older I get, you know, a lot more responsibilities starting to, you know, cut into my time of painting, but I don't know what tomorrow will bring. I hope I'll always be painting because I've had so much enjoyment and fun. I've had so many friends I've seen like most of the world because of painting.
My 3D style came from actually being in a crew with 3 guys, and they forced me to write 3D. So, like one guy did characters, one guy did flat style pieces, and they all said, when they were much older than me, and they just put me down with the crew, and the crew was called BTM at the time, this was 94, they said, you gotta do 3D. I'm like, I don't know how to do 3D. Because at that time, there was no such thing as magazines, internet, nothing like that, you know. So you gotta do 3D, and I'm like, so I practiced and practiced and practiced, and I finally got it, pretty much. I've just been writing for 10 years, and I call my style shark style, but I don't look like a shark anymore. But I don't know, I mostly do 3D style, mostly. A few of my characters, whatever.
It's all about having fun, hanging out with my friends, and traveling.
Who's not present on the microphone? Shake shifters not present on the microphone.
I'm a liquid messiah in a hypertone. Who's on the stage when the lights go on?
Right now we are in the east side of Milan. It's what we call Milano Est, and then this is the area where everything started, I mean, about writing, and also probably even about hip-hop culture here in Milan, and then to Italy.
The origin was in Milano, firstly, and in Torino, in Italy.
Graffiti comes and was something really different, you know, because there was not message, you know, there was not, you know, something like was not politics, you know, was something like individual thing, you know.
Originally, graffiti is those scratch on the walls that primitives did when they were at the beginning of the world. I don't do it for anything else. I do it for me.
I think firstly show me the hip hop also in writing, because Italy discovered later, I mean, the writing. I think with the book like Sprite and Arts, firstly books that you could buy everywhere. So I think this mix was the first experience. I mean, the first view in the graffiti scene.
From '95, I've been in contact with a really important thing that changed my life for 100%, and I'm talking about the Chicano movement from East Los Angeles, East Los Califas clan, and I'm proud to tell you that I'm considered part of it, and I'm really proud about it. The major artist Chesbo Jorquez, okay, he represents the history of Cholos writing, okay, so that style, the Chicano style.
I met some days ago writers from LA, Chaz. He started in the 60s painting with brush on the walls of LA, and was so much interesting how he writes, you know, the cholo style, you know, and was something more like, you know, I don't know, Asian painting or something like this. Was absolutely different with the aerosol scene of New York.
In Milano, the story is a little bit strange. I mean, because of course the origin of that, you know, everyone knows it basically is from New York. So, and because in Italy, about the art, I mean, about aerosol art, the hip hop, I mean, this part of hip hop was known in the early of '70 by gallerists here in Milano that took people like Phase 2, like A1, like Basquiat.
First graffiti scene started in Milan and just big cities like Milan and Rome, and then we grew up like rabbits, you know. Anywhere there were riders.
From the 90, everything started to blow up. I mean, to explode. The movement. A lot of writers came, you know, and many crews we started. Were born, and so the movement started to grow.
Hip hop and graffiti for me is like to be together, spending and hanging out together, staying together, and we don't have to forget all these things, you know, from the roots of hip hop culture.
I consider hip hop my culture. So in all the different forms, okay, the writing got its own past, okay, its own history, and then they started, you know, connect, okay, with hip hop, okay, with hip hop. But it doesn't matter. You can paint. You can be a great artist. You don't have to listen to hip hop or you know, or dressing like this. You know, one of our dreams was to, you know, to create our own scene here in Milan.
My earliest recollection of like New York graffiti was like the Warriors, so that was like, you know, some influence, and we were very much into art, you know. Been writing now for like close to 15 years. It's nearing the half my life mark. My writing name came from I was really into like a lot of metal growing up and stuff like that, and I wanted a name that kind of reflected that. You know, a lot of kids were writing like Flash or Zoom or, you know, some kind of like hip-hop-y name, and I wanted to have more of like a metal sounding name, you know. I wanted to paint like characters that look like, you know, out of like the Iron Maiden albums and stuff like that. So I chose VYAL like about 5 years after I got into graffiti, and you know, the definition of VYAL is like morally evil and all that kind of stuff, and it was cool. It fit me real well. You have to throw your whole life into it and your whole like spirit and soul, and I don't see that just because I guess I'm a artist, I'm a graffiti artist. I don't see that as like rap. You can't really get arrested for doing rap. You can't get jumped for breakdancing and stuff like that, and nobody wants to, you know, hold you back for dancing or for rapping anymore. It's pretty much accepted, and graff is like the last element of hip hop that's like not accepted. So I don't think hip hop is too important to graffiti's existence at all. We're standing here in East LA against the wall that's been tagged on by like, you know, hundreds of kids, you know, and we got helicopters flying in the air and everything, and I'm sure that makes for a good rap song, but I don't feel like listening to hip hop right now. One of the good things about graffiti and like about the scene is that it is so tight knit, and that graffiti artists are so accepting of each other, you know. They'll take anybody under their wing, and they'll really, if you're willing to work with a graffiti writer and look into them and see what they're about, they're really like, you know, eager to paint, eager to create, eager to do projects and stuff like that. And the fact that I know kids who are black, white, you know, Asian, whatever color, it doesn't even matter to me. It just, what matters to me is like how they paint or what they paint, you know, and that they're down to paint or that they continue to paint. You know, there's dudes that I've known for like years and I've never painted with them, but every time I see them, it's like, you know, it's like we didn't miss a day, you know. And I still see them existing, like when I drive down the street and I see a wall that they've painted, you know, and I know that they're doing good because they're painting, you know. And I think that's what's dope about graffiti, is like this, like, like unspoken like bond kind of thing, you know. It's dope. I mean, I know kids in Germany and kids in Paris, and they've painted out here too, like here in the heart of East LA, you know, coming out from Paris. Like, I don't know, I love that about it. And it all just really comes back to the walls and to the painting, you know?
We had a lot of crews. I remember when I first came out, there was crews out. I say when I first came out, I mean like around that 84, 85 era, when I first came out really bombing and going in train yards. It was crews up like ACW, it was a car crew, it was IAC from out south, CTA definitely. ABC and CTA were like the crews that were running it. I had been writing, but I was at home graffiti writer, what we used to call paper boys. Guys are real good at just doing pieces in their piece books, but never do a wall. I was a paper boy, I'd say, for my first 2 years, from 82 to 84. Then I started meeting really active writers. My first year, Von Steuben, you know, the up north scene was a real happening scene in Chicago. Actually, I think it had the most graffiti writers on it, even though you had writers out south and you had a few out west, you know, like Trickster. When I met him, he was definitely one of the most active bombers at the time. This guy was like doing pieces like at least a good 4 times a week. And most of them were all illegal, and at the same time going to school and making it to school the next day and meeting up with writers after school. You know, we had a big scene. I think our heaviest scene in Chicago really ranged in between that 85 to 88 or 89. Writers here are more excited about what's going on in Europe than they are here now. And I still hear vice versa out there. They still love the stuff that's coming out of here. I don't think you can teach that style. I don't think you could teach somebody how to be abstract. Abstract is, I think, a feeling. It's an expression. Graffiti is too. I think you could be directed at graffiti, not really taught. If you're taught, then you end up being a complete copy or clone with just a few different angles of trying to assert some type of, I don't know, what you might call an original style or bit to something in your style. But for the most part, you gotta branch off and do it on your own. You know, to an extent, I mean, it's the CTA is a business, and they don't want anybody writing on their stuff, you know. And so I guess I gotta understand that is really the same way as when the graffiti writer rolling on the front of the building. It upset me. And you gotta think, if you come out to your family van and somebody got up on it, would you be mad? Yeah, you'd be mad. You come out to your garage in the morning, you see graffiti writers have just bombed it up. Yeah, you'd probably be mad, you know. I could see myself coming out, you know, got a wife and a family, and I come out to my garage and it's bombed and my wife's losing her mind, and I'm like, yeah, baby, but that's kind of nice though. You know, I kind of dig that one. That's a nice little tag there, you know, but what can you do, you know? These names and identities that we've created, it's just like, actually, you know, it's an alias name. You create because you're going to be doing illegal work. You're not going to go go in the train yards and do a whole card that says, you know, stop the violence, and then put your name and address on there. Even though I've seen writers now putting their emails up, and I might do that on permission walls or something, but, you know, it's kind of deep. You know, you're just inviting the police. I just heard this one writer who did a book. I forget what the name of the book was. I remembered it, but he got raided by the feds, you know. He did a book, and he wasn't as an active graffiti writer, but he had connects to every graffiti writer pretty much in the world who had been doing illegal works and everything, which I think that's a heavy deal, because here's this guy, he's probably doing time just because of his love for that. You know, he's got his whole studio raided. I mean, everything. Computers, everything. Because it's a really, it's a lot of people that consider it a war, you know, a dead out war. You kind of got to be careful of almost any and everything you do.
The first thing I learned how to do was tag, how to sign my name, and how to make it look like I've been writing graff for a long time. The second thing I learned was bubble letters, how to do a throw up real quick. After that, I started learning how to do burners, making my letters look good, how to connect my letters. After that, I learned how to do characters. After that, I learned backgrounds, and then I learned how to do everything as a whole and make it look finished and complete. And a true artist knows how to work in pen, not pencil. You gotta be able to hide your mistakes. You gotta be able to work with your mistakes. That's evolution. And that's how I was taught. Tags, bubble letters, letter style, characters. Then everything else after that. My name is Fume. I write Fume Star 1, but my pieces are F-U-M-E. Been writing since 79. It's now what, 93? I mean 93. 2003. 36. I love the game. I love the culture. Everyone gets along. Black, white, Latin, African, Sweden, German, doesn't matter who you are. It's a culture, it's an art thing, and it surpasses all the color barriers, and that's why I still do what I do. You can't stop. And that's my motivation to keep doing what I'm doing, as well as PRIZ right here, who's also an old school from Brooklyn. I'm from Queens, he's from Brooklyn, both old school.
I read Prism, AK PRIZ 1. Where you going? Don't go nowhere. The Spanish 5. I started also, well, I started in 77, did a lot of black books and stuff. Then I went and I started painting on trains around 79, started doing them.
I started in 79, and I really started from I ended in 84, early 84, around in that area. And as far as from when I started, which I write Stand 1, Spanish 5, is that it's changed a lot. And you can see that a lot of the arts, especially from the European artists, the guys are really graphic artists. And where we just learned it on our own, they learned it from maybe going to school or they actually taught. We just picked it up off the street.
I think the art movement of graffiti has come quite far now. Beautiful stuff. The colors are nice, But again, like Fume just said, it's going to be difficult to actually give it or for it to receive notoriety, especially in the mainstream world. It's still looked down upon.
Like Fumes is saying, it's gonna keep going and going and going and going. It keep on going till it hits its peak, and who knows?
The more they oppress it, the more it's going to evolve. That's all I can say. The more you try and stop it, the more you're going to push it to a whole new level.
Because
keep pushing, we love it.
Because you stopped us from writing on trains with ink, now they're scratching in the window.
Our whole history in graffiti was, he's got nice letters, I think I can take them. Let's battle. We did it for so long, battling, that now the government and the powers that be that run stuff want to battle graffiti artists. We're up for the challenge because that's how we were taught.
The biggest battle that writers, the guys that tag, like my man on my shirt, the biggest battle that they have is really against society, because that's their outlet. Fuck society.
Let's spend money on
the
something
world.
that looks important. Here's a guy you really want to talk to, Nick One, the guy who came out with all the videos that everyone watches that made this help evolve into a global art form. This is the man you need to talk to right here, because he's the one that made it happen.
Even though he has the umbrella and he's scared of the rain.
And he's humble and he's quiet, but...
Well, they already got me on tape being kind of loud. I was already, I'm sorry, I don't want to contradict, but this is how it is out here.
What up?
What's going, Dad?
Yo, where's the fucking 60 minutes?
I got a book in there I want you to sign,
Lost
man.
out.
You did the cover for it. Nice.
Fucking
Dad,
Irish.
tell him, the Irish part of me is coming out.
This is Nick
Excuse
One,
me.
Videograph. Wild
This
style.
Nick One.
There's Nick One, my
Wild style.
little
this
son.
This is my dad. This is the guy that I can
I
credit
raised him
with the
and
shit
then-
I know now.
And I fucking created another fucking monster.
Yeah.
Every
Thanks,
time I'm
Dad.
through with
Thanks,
them,
Dad.
they're useless
All
for
right,
me.
Dad. You created a monster.
I can't hang out with them no more. When I create them, they're good, and then
Why?
they go. No, we have to stay apart because with two dangerous,
That's true.
two negatives make a positive,
That's
two
true.
positive make a negative.
You know,
Too much.
you just have to look for it on the wall.
It's like the tree. You go like this. All right, fly, motherfucking egg.
Because he's over here, and then I'm around the corner.
He has to keep it
We're not that
covered
far
over
away.
there.
It's like he steps there. When he steps out of that space,
Then he could go in.
then
It's like check, yeah.
And now Nick One will do his interview. Nick One, in general, yeah, I'm a laid-back, humble type of fellow these days. I just do my art, and I like to let that speak for itself, man. Thank you. It's just the problem is, and to quote Tracy 168, I believe he said something to the degree of, bombing is meant for kids. The problem is, you keep bombing as once you grow into an adult. You don't stop. So what you're witnessing here by all the people you see is a strong love for this culture. And people want to see this culture thrive and survive and carry on and move on. We gotta have old timers day. Remember, old timers day has to be remembered.
KAVES, Lords of Brooklyn, KAVES. Officially started right in 1980, like everybody else. It was a toy. Started toying up the neighborhood, the street poles. Then eventually started bombing trains at 82. And from there, pretty much started an all-out attack on the subway lines, BMT lines. I think the neighborhood I moved into, basically, there was a few writers on my block in Brooklyn. And they were like rock dudes. That was like into Ozzy Osbourne and Black Sabbath and stuff, and they all used to have tags, and it was like probably the trend at the time. If you didn't have a tag or if you weren't a writer, you weren't cool. I guess so. You say Dondi. The first time I seen that Dondi car, I was hooked. It ain't like it was back in the days. I mean, I was lucky to be involved with that whole early 80s, mid 80s movement on the BMT lines. Piecing, tagging, throw-ups, train yards, layups, you name it. It was definitely like a secret little society. The neighborhood crew was the bad racket. There was kids that bombed the BMT lines, like the RR trains, like RS3, and there was dudes from our neighborhood from AC, BT, TPK kids, NYC kids, and at first it was, just a thing that you got known for having a tag and a name and a nickname, just like everybody else, and but I started taking it seriously because I was into the art, found I had some skills, and hooked up with this cat named Ant, and we just started bombing. And you go to a lot of different partners, Revs, Lask, all different cats from different neighborhoods, and you get on a train and you venture out and you go places from Brooklyn to the Bronx to Queens, meeting writers, bombing. And just from that, I got into rap music through different neighborhoods, hang out with different cats, and you get influenced in there, and you kind of pick up on their cultures as they do you. And that whole birth of hip hop was started, and I was lucky enough to be part of it. So it didn't matter what neighborhood you came from or what background you came from. It's pretty much the kids against the system, and there was a spoken word for it, there was a written word for it, there was a dance for it, and it was just a movement, that inner city movement that, instead of summer camp, the subways was our summer camp, and we got to play and run around the New York City subways. It was like the ultimate cops and robbers, you know what I mean? Ultimate game of tag. Cats that bomb just to bomb, and there's cats that bomb or peace, and they take it a little bit more serious as an art form, but it's all the same shit. It's writing your name on the wall. So it's like the New York scene was happening. Kids were breaking, writing, and if you weren't writing, you were breaking or rapping. And not until I got busted for GRAFF in '85, doing whole cars with Revs. I started taking the rapping a little bit more serious. The shit was starting to get a little bit crazy with the law and whatnot. We started becoming like a nuisance. So we were hot. So we had to slow down a little bit. So the rap thing was the same kind of aggression, the same kind of fever, the fame. So we got into it, and we built the band from there, and we started to tell our story. The Lords of Brooklyn. Trying to get your name out there, you know what I mean? Just trying to get up. It's your life. It's like, you'll be writing graffiti to the day you die. It's like I started at 10 years old, and I'm 32 years old, and it's an addiction that never leaves.
I told to Jordi, I need that the paint covers, I need this kind of pressure, I need this kind of caps, and he was looking for, with his knowledge of technical things, and we were proving and proving, and this was the beginning of the Montana.
The pipes from the big guns. Like, close and put gas inside.
And we don't care if it's illegal or legal, or in one country it's illegal and in another country the same things are legal. We don't care about this. Graffiti is art. It's an artist thing.
Montana is part of the history of graffiti, and this is maybe I'm not a rich man, but I'm really happy about the success of Montana in the graffiti scene.
Hip hop feels that graffiti is part of hip hop, but graffiti don't feel that hip hop is. You know what I mean? Graffiti is something by himself. There is many writers that don't care about hip hop and don't know nothing, and they have big respect in the graffiti scene and also in the hip hop scene. You know, this is what is interesting.
Maybe the graffiti for me is not a passion, because I'm not a writer, but for me, I respect a lot to the graffiti scene. No? This is the worker of the finished products for send to the distributors. For example, this go to Greece, this is Sweden.
This is more or less the dream of each writer, no? Where
Yeah.
50,000 pens are. The essence is illegal. For start, you will start illegal always. If not, there is nothing that calls you.
Every week, the police go to Montana for names of the writers and never, I don't know, I make paint for shirts, no? For automotion, I don't know, no? In one day it's possible to make 20 covers. 20 covers.
We have the whole range is like 120 more or less.
Yes.
And now Alien have like the plan is 85 new colors. So at the end it will be like 200.
When the cover is completely finished, this machine put some quantity inside to the can. And every machine produces in 8 hours 4,000 cans. When I created Montana, I put all my experience in the paints about developed one special spray paint for artistic things and for graffiti.
And we just start to make the cans and to sell. And then writers came and asked to buy the cans from different countries, and we start to sell them. This is the beginning of the network. Now these small writers that they wanted to buy, some of them are big distributors, you know, that are taking care of a whole country. And they are having a big business. And this is good because they are writers.
And then put the protection from the over, protection, stick it, and box it.
To go to other place where few people is doing the same you are doing, is something that nears everybody, no? You are really close to the thinkings of people in the other side of the world. So this gives you the possibility to contact easily with these people because they understand you, and you probably will understand them.
It doesn't mean that the tower can't be tumbled. Humble, fumble, motherfucker, switch with the switches. Dishes, death crown, and the children of the grave. Dig up a grave, grave digger, death crown, feeling chillin' now with white makers down in Long Beach. Out of your reach, impeach your president. I don't give a shit, cause y'all suckin' MC's not the resident. Hell, your heaven set. 777 chillin' out with the devil. Death crown, feeling, turn it up again and level. A different level, higher level, BB got the treble, hebble, bagel.
Like I first saw graffiti, but I didn't kind of know what that was, you know, but I first saw it on the title sequence scene of Welcome Back Kotter, some sitcom that used to be on TV. After that was the Buffalo Girls video from Malcolm McLaren. that was late '83. I got into it more through other aspects of hip hop and the music and stuff like that. But I was drawing before anyway. '84, Subway Art came out, and I guess that was that had everything in there, and more or less, and we all used this as a kind of a base to kind of bounce from. But Subway Art was basically the springboard for most people. The strange thing is that when you start in London, when you're amongst the first 10 to start painting, you are instantly famous, you know, because like you've received a culture that's already been developed and researched over years, and you just get that in your hands, and oh yeah, I'm going to do that, you know. But it's not the same thing as those who were there like at the start of this, whether in Philadelphia or New York, and who had to, you know, just develop like this whole thing from a zero, and it's slowly built up and up and up, and any new kid coming in was up against so much competition as far as to outdo what was done before him.
Je défriche, j'ai des chiffres, des tas de rimes riches. Je jongle avec des mots variés, c'est mon kiff, ma tasse de thé. D'argumenter, de calculer, d'agrémenter les versets. De textes vitaminés, d'inverser à mon gré. Transformer, procréer, pro de l'impro sensationnel. Vaillant tel Guillaume Tell, tiens, prends ma ration d'allitération. Un sale poète en action, sur le micro-sillon. Guerriero, aguerri par les mots. La poésie posée, m'apaise le cerveau. So what the scenario. Je cherche la nouvelle trouvaille, il faut que mon esprit travaille. J'ai besoin de victuailles, donc de verbes je me ravitaille. Puis je sors mon attirail et je me lance dans une bataille. C'est une sorte de box style, à coup de boule bye et de freestyle all style. Non, one more time. C'est one esprit qui balance sur la mélodie. Je donne ma potion magique et fais garantie. Je suis parti pour te faire j'ai beau toute la nuit. Comme Obélix, je suis tombé dedans quand j'étais petit. M'en fous le microphone, vais jamais le quitter. Car ma tâche d'MC, je dois m'acquitter. Et oui, ça roule pour moi, mais c'est réglo. Mais c'est pour les gars et les gars Joe. Je suis mature, mieux pour l'écriture que de culture pure et dure. Je capte jusqu'à l'usure quand je débite ta fuse. C'est un plaisir dont j'abuse. J'utilise mon intelligence au micro phonique. Je donne des contredanses, mon style est unique. La vie est comme une danse, angélique ou diabolique. C'est ce que m'enseigne l'expérience. Je connais toutes les techniques. Passe-moi ma tunique et mon bic. Avec moi y'a pas de hic. J'ai la mémoire tenace, le souvenir vivace. En concert je laisse des traces. J'aime pas trop les médias, ni la culture de l'immédiat. Je préfère la culture Rasta, les forêts de séquoia. La salsita et le raga, le maloya et le sega. J'ai pas de console, mais je suis plus fort que toi. Sans la moindre abstinence, je me balance dans tous les sens. Je me sens en aisance, je suis en transe et avec bienveillance. J'agence les phrases avec insolence, en toute connaissance des assonances. Ça c'est mon signe de reconnaissance. Ha ha. C'est One Speak qui balance sur la mélodie. Te donne ma potion magique, effet garantie. Je suis parti pour te faire j'ai toute la nuit. Comme Obélix, je suis tombé dedans quand j'étais petit. Je m'en fous, le microphone, vais jamais le quitter. Car ma tâche d'MC, je dois m'acquitter. Et oui, ça roule pour moi et c'est réglo. Et c'est pour les gadgets et les gadgets. Ah, pour le service lyrical, produit service verbal. Je glisse sur un skate vocal, mon rap est congénital. L'amplitude de mes aptitudes développe mon attitude. Et équipé de mon masque que j'empoigne avec allégresse. Je mets mon pan pour la rudesse. Défenseur de la rythmique et du quatrain. J'écris dans le bus et même dans le train. Alors pour travailler ta diction, viens dans ma juridiction. Prends ma ration, l'allitération. Un savoir en action sur le micro-sillon. Missionnaire du vocabulaire, je me délecte l'intellect d'un dialecte d'adepte. Trop de mots de tête, jamais j'arrête. Je roule ma bobine sur les bandes, déroule ma langue qui est déliée pour pouvoir distiller des alités stylées. J'ai édité par mon esprit déjanté du MIC sur lequel je viens m'immiscer. Et tu peux prendre mon phrasé haut de haut. Moi je navigue comme Oloda et Quiyano. Pas sur les flows, mais sur le flow. Sur le rythme je flotte mon pote sans capote ou avec capote. J'ai la cote parce que je fais pas de toc et que je prends pas de coque. Je viens chanter pour la mauvaise herbe, les bohémiens du paysage musical, les exilés, les mauvaises graines qui n'étaient pas censées pousser. Nous sommes tous faits du même ADN, on a tous le même sang dans nos veines. Personne n'a encore réussi à nous apprivoiser. On est tenace comme la saleté que l'on nettoie jamais. Et on provient d'une espèce non répertoriée. Nous sommes les mauvaises herbes du rap français. On laisse une saveur amère sur les papillers, le papillet. Et nos pupilles sont souvent dilatées. Nous sommes les plantes grimpantes qui envahissent ton esprit et viennent te titiller. On est là pour pestiférer, proliférer. Et à ce jour il n'y a aucun moyen pour nous éradiquer.
And then it began to creep like a slimy red animal across the land, covering field and ditch and tree and hedgerow with living scarlet feelers, crawling, crawling.
J'arrive sur le track, faut que je le tombe, faut pas que je craque. Je dois pas penser au track, ni aux ventes de la plaque. Je veux juste casser la baraque, il ne faut pas que je me rate, ni que je reste en vrac. Je remonte ma ceinture et je me prépare à l'attaque. Sur la caisse claire ma voix se plaque, je sors de ma tanière et des critiques je m'en tape. Je fais ce que je fais pour l'amour du rap. Je frappe pas d'une droite mais d'une rime qui miroite dans la plaque des vies. Je suis caché derrière le mur, que t'as peur de franchir. De toute mauvaise vibe, je viens m'affranchir. Le vinyle tourne autour de l'axe et les syllabes je les malaxe. C'est comme ça qu'il faut que ça se passe, c'est race, ça sent le roussi. Je viens de la race des races, des MC qui faisaient la queue pour assassiner leur gosier. Faut qu'ici et là-bas ça passe, et sans sourciller, je m'exergue à ne pas m'égosiller. Je suis le Godzilla, le mutant qui fait flipper, le fou du roi, le flame, le croque-mitaine qui mitonne dans les soirées mondaines. Je suis le rejeton des rejetés de la phase bêta Kenaton. Je suis une espèce endémique en voie de disparition, héritier génétique de public ennemi et d'assassin production. Je suis la bactérie infecte qui infecte direct l'essence. Je pue comme l'essence et donne naissance à toutes sortes de nuisances. Donc pour mon invitation, moi ma débauche incitation. Pourquoi faire de citation? Je t'assure, laisse-toi juste porter par le bon sens. C'est le bon son. La mauvaise herbe, nous sommes la mauvaise herbe, nous resterons. Nous resterons. J'ai passé une bonne journée. est-ce que j'ai rencontré quelqu'un d'intéressant? C'est quand la dernière fois que j'ai passé du bon temps? À quand remonte mon dernier sourire, mon dernier fou rire? Putain, je suis pire quand je pense que mes soi-disant problèmes quotidiens, je me les impose comme le stress qui pèse sur mes épaules, mec. Des fois je pense aux planteurs de café en Amérique du Sud qui mâchent la feuille de coca. Pourquoi? Pour rappeler c'est l'heure du réalité. Mais est-ce qu'oublier résout les problèmes? Ne serait-il pas mieux d'envoyer foutre en l'air le système qui nous tape sur le système? Et pour changer le monde il faudrait commencer par soi-même. Le vrai problème c'est pas forcément de trouver une solution, mais de remonter à sa source comme la théorie de l'évolution. Et au lieu de penser à trouver de nouvelles constellations, on ferait mieux de se poser les bonnes questions. Faut pas perdre de temps, faut pas perdre de temps. C'est ce que je me dis souvent, c'est ce que je me dis souvent. Faut faire de l'argent, faut faire de l'argent. C'est ce que je me dis tout le temps, c'est ce que je me dis tout le temps. Mais est-ce que je me pose les vraies questions, gars? Est-ce que je me pose les vraies questions, gars? À savoir, gars, à savoir, gars. Mamelo, mamel, yeah, 2.0. Faut pas perdre de temps, faut pas perdre de temps. C'est ce que je me dis souvent, c'est ce que je me dis souvent. Faut faire de l'argent, faut faire de l'argent. C'est ce que je me dis tout le temps, c'est ce que je me dis tout le temps. Mais est-ce que je me pose les vraies questions, gars? Est-ce que je me pose les vraies questions, gars? À savoir, gars, à savoir, gars. Depuis la nuit des temps, les scientifiques essaient de lutter contre le temps. Tic-tac, tic-toc, alors ils inventent des machines en toc qui ne servent à rien, des concepts qui ne servent à rien, des médicaments qui droguent les gens, des satellites qui coûtent de l'argent. Tout ça pour qu'on s'envoie des textos à propos de nos problèmes d'argent. À quoi servent les caméras de surveillance? Elles n'empêchent pas la recrudescence de la délinquance. L'erreur est humaine, mais l'homme a la mémoire courte. Pourquoi? Parce qu'il ne se pose pas les bonnes questions, gars. C'est quand la dernière fois que j'ai vu le soleil se lever? T'as l'air abattu, qu'est-ce que je peux faire pour t'aider? C'est quand la dernière fois que j'ai voté? Pourquoi personne ne se parle plus dans le quartier? Et ce boulot, ça fait combien de temps que j'ai envie de le larguer? Yeah, yeah, mes parents, c'est quand la dernière fois je les ai appelés? Relaxing, cooling out in the studio.
Sit down. I must add that the verdict of the jury has the court's heartiest approbation.
Yeah, vibe is flowing in Edinburgh. Ah. What's going on, my king song? Always relaxing, cooling out. We see what's happening tomorrow, man. Yo. Des fois je me demande c'est quoi le pire, agir sans réfléchir ou réfléchir sans agir, prendre des décisions sans fléchir. C'est aussi difficile que de partir sans revenir. Il faut franchir le pas, faute de quoi les regrets prennent le pas. Donc j'hésite pas, je me moque des temps qu'on dira. C'est toujours la même rengaine, alors qui verra vivra. C'est dur parfois de mettre des mots sur une musique, mais cette fois je n'y manque pas. Et c'est pas grave si t'écoutes pas. Ce beat t'emmène au nirvana. C'est toujours les mêmes métaphores qu'on emploie. Au contraire du roseau, je me casse et je plie pas. Je suis ravi quand brille la flamme de l'envie. Tant qu'il y a de l'espoir, il y a de la vie. Tous les jours je passe devant la femme de ma vie, mais je lui parle pas, c'est pas gras, car qui verra vivra. Un jour le Viagra me revigorera. C'est toujours comme ça, faut bien justifier nos âmes d'état. Alors je passe et n'en fais pas une affaire d'état.
The wind blows my cobweb head, I need a lift light. Open up my window, man, I ran a miss like folk like, hoping I can can it on this night. Cause this life ain't no more than handling this mate. Left, right, 1, 2, untruth they massing. Unbelievable reasons right here while I'm asking. They passing them by now. No point to lie down, I'm high now. Whenever we arrive, they alive or now. Some more of that zombie chat. Pack it up, I'm moving off into the morning, Jack. Like picking corn and that with no more warning, Matt. Just leave them be cause we don't need no more award than that.
Aujourd'hui c'est la guigne, j'ai perdu mes cartes de crédit, mais je me suis quand même rendu dans le studio bancal de Mikey. On n'avait même pas de câble XLR, donc il a pris mon vélo pour en choper un. Et moi pendant ce temps j'accélère, je pense mes textes comme un bâtard. Dans un freestyle je m'enfuis, je suis tipard et je m'en fous pour l'instant. Si c'est le bordel dans ma tête, j'ai aucune garantie, aucune assurance vie. Du moment que le ciel me tombe pas sur la tête, je suis et essuie la sueur sur mon front. Je verrai bien demain si j'aime toujours ce son, si tout va bien, car le soleil brille même sur le cul des chiens.
On n'est pas des bureaucrates, on ne marche pas au pas. C'est indéniable dans ce domaine comme les diablotins. On reste terre à terre mais on n'en reste pas autant. C'est toujours la même rengaine alors on vivra demain. On improvise et si on échoue on s'en lavera les mains. De trop stresser ça en devient vraiment trop malsain.
tell when your words don't fit with the image. We can see through the smoke screen you try to envisage. Better think before you open your mouth, or better yet, stick a sock in it so nothing comes out. We're sick of superficial ranters after all that fame. We'd rather hear about reality than he got game. Little message to the vain kid, check your mirror, cause the pride you hold dear will get you beat like Manila. We can fill the whole planet with the shit they produce, still they carry on dropping like a plague of baboons. So choose life, choose anything other than that tune, cause all you're doing is encouraging fools to keep ruining your chances of accessing quality shit. Main problem is we let it persist. All these happy-go-lucky cunts taking the drip couldn't give a flying fuck as long as they can get pissed. Dancing every weekend to the industry's anthem like a cesspit of snakes sucking up to the beast. Reason life was so good back in 93 was we didn't have to listen to the Black Eyed Peas, and that's me. But I know loads of those who'd agree that this music just ain't what it used to be, man. C-O-M-M-U-N-I-T-Y. Don't have to ask me why. C-O-M-M-U-N-I-T-Y. Don't have to ask me why.
Why? C-O-M, what? C-L-O-M-M-U-N-A-U-T. That's right. French.
One SP.
Ta communauté hip-hop, parle-moi-en, vas-y, elle est où? Quand j'ai fait un serpent, le public, il était où? Les Français se foutent du rap, c'est franc pour être franc. C'est soit saturé de merde sur les radios, soit censuré parce que c'est un bon morceau. Alors je ne sais plus où donner de la tête. Pourtant je me la prends pour écrire ce couplet que t'entendras peut-être jamais, parce qu'on n'a pas d'argent pour le distribuer, parce qu'on s'est fait encore lâcher par la communauté. C'est pour ça qu'on préfère l'autoprod. On sait pas où ça nous mènera, mais en tout cas personne ne veut nous passer à tabac. C'est pas le fric qu'on a, mais le cœur qu'on a, gros comme ça. Et la communauté soi-disant bien pensante, elle ne nous a pas pris dans ses bras. C'est pas grave car tant qu'il y aura des malades, il y aura des docteurs. Et tant qu'il y aura des choses à dire, il y aura des rappeurs. Yo, j'fume le Mikey, avec qui? Mon pote de chez pote Mikey, il sait ce qu'il dit. Nous on a notre propre community, on se pousse à bout pour vous le public. Et on s'applique et on s'agite comme des tiques. Nous sommes des artistes avec une éthique plutôt qu'une étiquette, car tant qu'il y aura des DJ, il y aura des mixtapes. Et tant qu'il y aura des crimes, il y aura des enquêtes. Je te dis alors me prends pas la tête.
C-O-M-M-U-N-I-T-Y. Don't have to ask me why.